Hi guys, it's Kimberly and I'm back with the Twin Flame family. And I wanted to talk to you today about the energies we're shifting out of from September and entering into in October. Once again, I have a little bit of a channel message for you and some insight on the recent happenings in September. So, a couple things. One of the things is in my Twin Flame scenario, and I know in many of you that are in contact with your twin or are in union or coming into union or playing out some sort of a 3D relationship with your twin flame, that a lot of stuff came up for purging and clearing in September, and it almost felt crazy and volatile, and it was. In fact, it was a lot of like childhood wound stuff, past relationship stuff, especially a lot of clearing of, let me say, a lot of projection, a lot of inflicting of, stuff, like filtering your, let's say this, like that you're looking at your twin through the eyes of your past hurt. So if that resonates for you, you will be chuckling with me, because that is a lot of what's happening right now. It's like we're seeing, like they say, like, do you have your beer goggles on? Are you seeing right when you're drinking? Okay, do you have your twin flame glasses on? Like, do you have your wound glasses on? Because that's how it feels. It's like we're going from our past relationship experiences, and we're looking at our twins through this lens. And the reason why that happened, and especially for I believe it's equal for both divine feminine and divine masculine, but I'm hearing a lot that it especially came up for the feminine is because that stuff needed to be purged as we start to end and close the cycle. And, 9, the September month, beyond what was happening cosmically and astrologically with, the lunar eclipse, the solar eclipse, the Mercury retrograde, all this planetary activity and all of this stuff that was being brought to light and being exposed, it also caused everything to sort of brim up to the surface and sort of spew out of our mouths. Okay, so if you're in that silo of over here where you're in contact or in union or playing out 3D relationship with your twin flame, you very well could have experienced a very volatile, conflict-driven, feeling of being misunderstood, feeling like there's no resolution. There's no way to make this work, and there's no way to solve this. And I know with my twin and I, we certainly we fought to the death. It was as if metaphorically we drew our swords out and we were just stabbing at one another. And now it's September 26th. It's Tuesday, September 26th. The energies are shifting. They started shifting yesterday over the weekend. Mercury has gone back direct. So the effects of that are lessening. Pluto's going direct. Lots of things are shifting cosmically. And there is a lighter energy as we're moving towards October. As that begins to happen, we begin to soften. And as we begin to soften and return back to love and stop, it's almost like I feel like we haven't been in our heads. We haven't been in our hearts. We haven't even been in our souls. We are in, oh my gosh, a weird feeling, but it's like we've been not just acting out the old wounds, but like we're literally like living in them and pushing them onto the other person. And so in that, we're not really stabbing them. We're really just stabbing ourselves. And there's been a lot of mirroring in these types of scenarios. So if that's something that you're experiencing, you've probably just had a lot of mirrors held up for you. And there's this feeling of craziness. It's like, well, is that me or is that him? Is that him or is that her or is that me? It's been a lot of that. And the reason why is because it's your twin holding up your mirror for you. It's all your shit coming to the surface. It's all your wounds coming to the surface. It's everything. The divine feminine has been trying to how do I say it? There's been runner chaser scenario. Yes. Okay. Whether you like those terms or not, this is the typical runner thing. Our ego doesn't like what we're hearing from the other person as the mirror is reflected, and we just want to bolt, right? And so I had been saying in past videos that my twin and I had come a long way because we were really in these conflicts, not really running. We would threaten to run, but then we would turn and face one another and really look in the mirror. But over the past couple of weeks with these volatile energies and all this crap coming to the surface, it has been like the most tumultuous, energy sucking battle that I could ever explain to anyone. It's like he and I went to battle, and we are coming back now to ourselves out of war. I mean, you're energetically drained when you go that deep into it, when you go that deep into purging stuff. But I can say that as you come out of it, like clarity starts to set in, things soften, and you start to be able to separate, like the goggles come off. You're no longer in old wound projection mode, and you're like, oh wow, wait a minute, that was kind of me. Or like you're seeing how a lot of the stuff was you, and that your twin was right. And likewise, they're seeing the same thing. And so that you can come to a deeper understanding in all relationships, the best part of the healthiest way to resolve conflict is to, resolve it with understanding and with insight and empathy, and also with, introspection, so that you're looking at yourself going, okay, I recognize this is me, I own this is my responsibility, and I need to heal this, work on this. And you know what, I was putting my stuff on you, and there was a lot of you dumping your shit on your twin, or your twin dumping their shit on you. And I think a lot of us are going, no, I'm not going to take that anymore. It's got to change, or it's got to be different. Okay, so there's been boundary setting that's been going on. That's what's come out of this purging. There's also been an acceptance of responsibility, going, okay, you know what, that was me. But we're only starting to recognize that as we come into a softer period, like out of the battle, out of the conflict, out of all this heavy purging, this volatile energy and this conflict. And so as we recognize those things, we go back into our heart, and we remember how much we love our twin, and how unconditional that is. And, one of the things between my twin flame and I is that we have now in hindsight come out of our battles. And when we tend to come out of our battles, we look at each other, we're like, oh my God, we are babies. We fight like babies. We do. We're completely babies. It's like high school. It's awful. It's like it's a lot of cutting, low jabs, projection, just yucky stuff. And it's really good that we're able to open our eyes, look at it, recognize it, and healthily love each other and try to correct it. Because there is no one party, if you're in a twin flame relationship, there's no one party inflicting more pain than the other. There is no one party more responsible than the other. You both are. And you're both doing it at the same time. And one might be further along in their spiritual healing or progression, but, that's kind of all BS also. Because I really do feel like with your twin flame, you're always equal. You're always equal. And you may think you've cleared stuff, but then as it comes up for mirroring, you're seeing, okay, I didn't completely heal that. I'm not as far along as I thought. And in other ways, they try to raise you up and help you out. And what's happening now as we shift into October, so 9, now we're going into the 10 month. The 10 month is a new cycle. It's the completion. It's the completion of one full cycle. So in the tarot deck, 10 is completion. It's, having learned everything we need to learn, having purged everything we need to purge, having, to get to the next place. So whether that's starting a new cycle alone, or, in like a different relationship away from our twin, or on our own relationship with ourselves, or if it's starting a new cycle with our twin as we renew things in a much healthier way, because all that stuff from the 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 cycle is cleared out. And I feel as though the months right now and the symbolism of the numerology is really on target for what's happening with the collective. So that means that 9 being almost the completion, like you're almost there, but you got to make some final tweaks. Well, we've just all made those tweaks. How about those that weren't in contact with their twin or haven't been playing out this 3D relationship where there's been conflict? Maybe there's been a lot of silence. You're over here in this silo. Okay, well, let's talk about that. Those of you that I know that have been in that category, you are, in September, you were able to speak your truth, stand your ground, set your boundaries, and a lot of you broke the silence. And I'm really proud of you guys. I think it was necessary. Don't doubt, regret, or question any of it. That's not ego speaking. That's like, this had to happen. So now, if you've spoken your truth, broken the silence, spoken your truth, set a boundary, stood up for yourself, whatever it was that needed to happen in that silence, a lot of you are feeling like right now, I don't know what the other person's thinking. You don't know what your twin flame's thinking. You had no reaction. You had no response. You did not get validation. You did not get anything. You feel disappointed. And so I have to say to you that you're not going to see it for a while. And I'm getting like later October, you're going to get like, it will come through, and it'll come through much easier, and it'll come through as that you're being acknowledged, or that you're getting validation, or that like things that were said in September are starting to set in now, or that something really shifts as change is going to happen in October with clarity coming for everybody, that your twin will gain clarity and make some shifts in his or her life. So if you're feeling really disappointed right now, and you're feeling like, wow, I just either put myself out there or totally, set the bars, drew a line in the sand, or I just completely asked for what I wanted and I got nothing in return. Let me tell you, many of you are going through this. I've talked to many people that are going through this, and just have an inner knowing and an inner comfort that you did the right thing. Don't question it. You were on point. You were supposed to do that. It is playing out as it should. You're not going to see any physical manifestation of that for at least a few weeks. At least I'm getting 3 weeks. So if any validation is coming or response is coming or anything like that's going to happen, like, I don't know, second or third week of October, maybe a little bit later as we head into November. Okay. So moving on, I pulled some cards. I just was guided to pull cards very simplistically I didn't want to do a really in-depth, reading. I wanted to just pull simplistically for the combined divine masculine, divine feminine energies. And part of the reason why I did that is because I feel like we're coming into like a new phase and clarity, and it's not just the divine masculine or divine feminine. I feel like we all are as we come into October. So I wanted to pull the cards for that, and I pulled one card only each from the Tarot deck, the Ascended Masters, Doreen Virtue, and the Past Life deck from Doreen Virtue and Brian Weiss. So interesting what I got here. This spread is very, very interesting. So I got the 9 of Wands in reverse, which is very much asking us to soften our harsh approach, you're looking out for answers, and you're trying to decide, you're trying to sift through all this stuff back here, like what's right, what's wrong. This could be representative of a lot of the conflict or battle that we've just had, and now like being guarded and looking out. And it's asking us to soften and to, you know, allow it to come, and not to be rigid in our approach to our twin flame. And as we're looking out for the answers in our twin flame, they're really not going to come outward. Okay. So they're not going to come outward. They're going to come from within ourselves. And it's definitely going to happen, not through battling or anything, but see how he's leaning on this staff here? It's like asking us to lean on something or somebody. So in this softer approach, it could be that you're actually now leaning on your twin. You're accepting the guidance. You're accepting the mirroring that's coming in from them. And you're going, okay, I'm going to let you help me. And in return, they're going to do the same with you. They're going to go, I want you to help me as well. And I'm going to accept what you're giving to me. And so I think it's representative of all of those things. The other interesting thing is, I know it's upside down in the camera, but it's IX, which is number 9. And again, we're at the 9, coming to the end of the 9 month, which is coming near completion, but not having all the information we need. We're still looking for something, right? But it's coming to us. It's coming. So you may need to soften, lean on things. It's not all this like straight up, you know, stuck in the ground type thing. It's really like, okay, I need to lean for support. The knowledge and understanding and clarity is on its way. And stop looking outward, but go inward for those answers. Moving on, we have the Ascended Masters card, which is choose peace. Again, it's all about all that conflict that was happening. And this is the Yogananda card, choose peace. And it's like, okay, stop battling, you guys. Stop the conflict. If you're feeling, even from silence, really feeling harsh, hard feelings about the silence and not getting the reaction you wanted, or not getting things that you wanted, or having expectations disappointed, just choose to be peaceful about it. Just choose to be loving. Just choose to go inward with it and let the energies soften. Stella, my kitten in the background. So as that happens, for those of you who have been in conflict and battle, it's the same thing. It's like, step away from the fighting and return to love. We're not meant to destruct. And especially in these twin flame relationships, we're here to learn to love unconditionally. And there is going to be a huge new beginning for many of you, and a lot of returning to love and choosing peace instead of fighting. You know, it's like you need to heal one another, and that's what they're calling you to do, is heal each other, not fight with each other. And the last card was the past life card. And I also, whenever I pull past life card, I also feel it's coming up as past stuff. So interesting that I pulled the forgiveness card, and this goes in line with this whole reading, which is soften your energy, forgive your twin. But it's also, if this is past life, it's forgive the past life stuff, forgive this life stuff, forgive your old wounds, forgive your old lovers who have hurt you and scarred you. Forgive them, and choose not to see your twin through those goggles that I was talking about, right? It's asking you to soften and to open your heart to love and be forgiving, okay? It's not, you're not at war. You're not at battle. This is not a battle. This is a very important time to forgive and choose peace and soften. And I think for those of you who have got most of it out and have purged most of it, you will move into a much more harmonious phase, and almost with a new and better understanding. And it could be almost like a renewal of your connection. And for those of you who are in silence and are really just feeling all that angst from, not getting the answers you needed, not getting closure, not getting the response, not getting any response, or not feeling any validation from anything you've done or said or asserted for yourself in the past month, forgive. It's asking you to forgive yourself if you have felt like, oh, I shouldn't have broken the silence, or, I shouldn't have let this go on for so long, or I shouldn't have this, or I shouldn't have that. It's like, you guys, be nicer to yourself, forgive. And it's also asking you to forgive the other person, okay? Because their circumstances right now are really reigning their decisions. And so a lot of the circumstances are going to shift, I feel, as clarity sets in October. So just in the meantime, your job is to forgive them also for being whatever they are, ignorant, silent, not giving you what you need, being stuck in their own stuff or own current situation, not recognizing, not seeing the whole picture. Forgive them from deep from within. Okay, so those are the messages for this week, and I hope to see you guys back shortly. Please, please, please like us on Facebook. We're always posting some really fun and cool content on spirituality, and mostly based around twin flames, and we're a big support community. So like us on Facebook. It's facebook.com/the Twin Flame Family. All right, see you guys soon. Bye.